So for all a beginner level understanding developer of AWS, for someone who is a beginner level, who is having a lot of curiosity to say, I want to do hands-on in AWS, what you should do is, for a very beginner level, so what I demonstrate to them is that in AWS, if you want to understand the AWS basics, first we talk about Amazon Elastic Cloud um, computer Elastic Compute Cloud. So first, what I request every developer is to that to have an AWS account, right? So if you have an AWS account, when you log into your AWS account, it'll ask you, you'll have some account ID. Okay, it'll have some account ID, and when you have account ID in your AWS, so anything can be done in AWS with two approaches. One is GUI, one is console or command line. But tell me one thing, in production, we will work with code automation approach only most of the times. In production, to test something, you might work with do that. In production, you might work with code automation also, and that will work here. So that is possible. So I'm going to demonstrate that very detailed. So that is something we can use case. We can use the use case or understand the use case in production level. So production level, what happens? So what is that we are going to do here? Is this? So first in AWS, always remember you click on identity access management. In this identity access management, if you click on this is very important and core person. So once you click on this identity access management, you will see here you can see there's left hand side tabs. You will see sometimes roles and users. So you can click on users. You can see one user is created, that is called CoderRange. I just created it. That's user. You can click on that user. Okay, and that user you should be able to click on see something in with that user. Okay, and second very important thing, guys, once you see this user, you can click on roles also. So in this, you have to click on a role, because if you want to create any kind of instance also, anything, your role should be existing already. Okay, anything for any kind of AWS service role you need to create. So you need to create a AWS service role policy, and you need to create any of the things. Okay, then what exactly is role? We'll talk about that also. So it's like you are giving the permissions like that. So now I will demonstrate one code example so to make you understand. So for an instance, I will go here and demonstrate detailed coding. No worries. So I have only one of the VS code running, so you can see this. So first I'll go with what I will do here. I'll explain it. So I will write code. I'm not someone who copy paste it. Okay. I will import a package called Boto3, and I'll write down, see here, Boto3 dot. I'll call one function called client. You can see this. In the client, I will pass a string of AWS resource called IAM. Okay. This without space. If you do some space, it'll throw an error there. Exception will come. Okay. So never do this, guys. So, and what I try to so that is one of the important thing here, guys. So this is a use cases you have to so this is so what I try to explain you here is, as a developer, you can, I'm trying to call this function and pass a string IAM. Okay, it will return me a value. Okay, let me take reply. So this, what is reply? Reply is actually an object. Okay, if you want, you can see reply dot. If I say, it will show you a lot of methods. In that, one of the method I can call is, it's a method. Okay, so I didn't talk much about oops, but yes, someone who has to know the basics of oops here. If not, you will not understand it. So I'll call list underscore users. Sorry, users. If I call this function, it will get me this thing here. So I will call here, take this response, something I'll take a response. So then I'll print here this response, this object I'll print here. So I'll do only till this level. Okay, or if I want to do this, I can only run to this level. Okay, and then you will see what's happening in the, see, manually creating EC2 instance is very easy, but now creating any user, it's very easy to create a user. Now I'll run through this Python file. So I will be getting one object. See there. This response is you can see that it's a dictionary. Inside the dictionary, user is key and value is an array of dictionaries, you can say. So inside this users, I have to loop it. So how to loop it is, I will loop like this for I in response of, inside this I have a key. I have to pass this key. What is that key is users. Okay, and I will loop it here. So you understand now what level of data structure is important here. And then I'll print here I am hero, and then in this I can take this I and I will access this data structure. Inside this data structure, I'll try to ask what is my actual username. So I have to pass this username, guys. You need to know how to pass this username. So this, if you do it, so then it will pass me the username inside this my account. My username is it is showing you that I am here hero CoderRange. So then it says what is the username is CoderRange. So you can see that I'm able to access a CoderRange account. Now this with GUI it's very simple, but in coding we have to write the code and get access. Correct? All the smiling coders understood or not? So with this continuity is going to happen. So how your Python file connecting to your account? Okay, that's a good question. So guys, it's very simple. How did I do this? So I was able to connect everything. How is this? Because I was able to connect first. What did I do? I'll just show you that so that you will understand it. Simple. So first, what did I do is I went to my IAM. I did two things. First, I have to create a users first. So how to create a user is you can click on create user. You can give a username here. Okay. So let's say I'll create it smiling coders. Is a username is smiling coders. So next I'll create. Okay. So then I create the user. Then you have to click on attach policies directly, and then you have to say next. If you want to attach any policy, means what? For example, you want to get access to, for example, what are the main AWS resources are? We have EC2, that is one thing. We have S3, and we have Red database. So for all these resources, there are some we have to, there are some things you have to add this policies. So to this user, if you add, what will happen? You will be able to execute that resources when you add that policies. Understand that, right? So suppose, for example, I want to add here S3 full here, Amazon S3 full access. If you click on this, it will access it for this user. Who's a user? I mean, for this user, whatever a user I'm creating, it will allow me to add this resource. So then I can click on next. So then I'll say I want a full access. I will say that smiling coder. So then I'll create it. So then it will create me a user. Okay. So this is a user I'm creating it here. Now for this user, I can have to create a role. So what role you want to get also you can attach. So using this process only, I was able to run my code. Clear or not? So that's the way I was able to do this here. Any questions here, guys? Hello, smiling coder?
No, it does not make sense.
Sorry?
No, it did not make sense. You're creating the user in your portal. How are you connecting it to your local Visual Studio Code?
Visual Studio Code. So for that Visual Studio Code, first what I would have done, I would have I have configured initially the basic thing. What I would have done is I would have configured here my region, and also I configured the other things. I'll just tell you that step by steps process. That after creating that only I was able to access this users here. So one second, then I will just show you that also.